Okay, yeah. So you've probably seen that. I'm clearly not Mikhail. Unfortunately, he's gone down with the flu this weekend. So that's just why I'm actually going to present his slides. So forgive me if I've not got quite as much detail as he would have given you. He was also planning on doing a live demo. I think he was very brave. So I've not gone for that option, and I'm only going to show you a few screenshots of the Flix sensitivity estimator. Oh, sorry, you would know that. Okay, so Flix, you might well be familiar with Flix. It was a piece of software that was put into place by Clive Page back in the very early 2000s and was maintained by Clive until about 6 or 7 years ago. So Flix just means flux limits from images from XMM Newton. And the idea is that you actually produce estimates of the detection threshold of the X-ray flux at a given point in the sky where no source was detected in the 4XMM surveys. So that's this version. And previous ones, you had Flix that was available for 1XMM, 2XMM, and 3XMM. So the aim was to actually, first of all, replace Flix, which was no longer maintained, but update it quite significantly, make it into a useful sensitivity estimator to find out to where you've not been able to detect your source. So I'll show you, it's a little bit deprecated before. And then the aim then is to have something that will be usable in the future that we could then just very easily adapt to something like Athena. So what we've done is try to improve the web application. So we've tried to use a simple and intuitive interface. I'll show you what it used to look like, and I'll show you what it does look like. And well, we can discuss it, and you can maybe decide whether you prefer it or not. And also something that Flix was not particularly good at was handling large requests. And so that's something we've tried to put into place to be able to handle larger requests. So that is what Flix used to look like. So again, it was not necessarily particularly intuitive, but you can basically provide a region of the sky. You could ask it for a detection threshold for your sensitivity detection. You can also just give it a radius for the region that you're particularly interested in. So therefore, it can also be used for extended sources and not just point-like sources. Then it also is able to give you information in the bands that you were particularly interested in, soft bands, hard bands, whatever you were particularly interested in. You can also provide images, and that's still the case now in the new version. So just to give you a bit of technical details, this is a sensitivity estimate that's based on the algorithm from Francisco's paper, so Carrera et al. 2007. It uses the exposures and the background maps together using an empirical relationship to be able to get the count rates from the detected sources and the expected Poisson count rate. And it also computes an estimate of the actual background subtracted flux as measured directly from the XMM images. So this is something that's done on the fly, which is obviously going to make it much slower than something where you could access it like from a stored database, something like the Rapid XMM upper limit server. This only does the single observations at the moment, but what's actually been developed at the moment, and I think if Mikhail hadn't gone down with a flu, would have been implemented by now, was to have the sensitivity estimates based on the stat catalog as well, so you can get these much deeper fluxes. So this is now what the interface looks like to Flix. It's got two main entry points. So I can give it a single coordinate if you're interested in the single coordinate. It's got some information about how to provide your coordinates. Or if you prefer, because you want to investigate a number of different regions, you can just upload a file with a list of your coordinates to this box here. There's a small thing here for the settings. I'll show you, but it's basically the radius and the sensitivity limit that you can enter. So you can choose if you're interested particularly in the extended sources, or if you're interested in different kinds of thresholds. So how has it been built? It's been built with all of this kind of software technology. I'm afraid I'm not Mikhail, so I can't give you the detail about that. But yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to send us an email. So once you've entered your coordinates into Flix, this is what will come up on your screen. So obviously this is if you're just giving it a single coordinate. If you're going to enter a whole list, then you're going to get back a list value, but you can also get this as a result as a fits file as well. So what you see here is the region that you were interested in. This is the particular point that you requested for your sensitivity estimate. This is the circle showing you the region that you asked for. I think this example was just a 30 arcsecond radius, but as I said, you can go up to much larger radii. And it actually plots this on Aladdin Light. So you can obviously choose different surveys, sky, how big is the region of the sky that you're looking at, the field of view, and it plots up on here in the little magenta circles the positions of the actual sources that are in the 4XMM catalog, and it gives you the unique identifier for each one of these sources next to that, and you can see the list of them and how far away they are from the particular point of interest that you had. So yeah, obviously you got the zoom buttons here, and this is just the Epic Pen colored, but yeah, again, video project is not brilliant. So what does it provide you with other than this information? You've got down here information about each one of the instruments. So for the MOS1, the MOS2, and the PN, it gives you a lot of information about the actual observation itself. So which filter was used, the exposure time for each one of these observations for each of the instruments, the detection threshold that you reach, and the band 8, and the encircled flux that you have. And yeah, you've got option to click on for more bands. I'll come on to that in a few moments. So this link here is clickable, and that will take you directly to the observation in the XSA. So you could, if you are particularly interested in that observation, you'll go directly to the XMM Science Archive, and you can download your data or the products that you're interested in, whatever you want from there. These individual sources are also clickable, and it will send you to the online version of the catalog that's hosted here at IRAP, and it will give you the information for each one of those sources. Yeah, so this is where it will send it. If you clicked on one of those links, this is our catalog server here at IRAP. You can access it through this URL. If you don't want to go through the Flix server, you can see it's very similar. We've tried to homogenize the way that we're presenting all of our data. So again, we've got the Aladdin Light image, and this is the position of that source that you clicked on. You can't see the whole screen here, but we give a lot of information about each one of these sources. You can see, so the RA and DEC, which is probably primordial, but then you've got the different information about the fluxes for the sources in all of the different bands. You've got a measure of the variability, if it's variable, hardness ratios, and whether or not we consider it to be variable. Here you can actually click on each one of the detections. So if there are many detections of the same sources, then you just find lots and lots of these lines in the table. So if there was 30 observations, you'd have 30 lines, and it would take you to a page where you can actually not just look at the spectrum, but where you can fit the spectrum with different kinds of models. You can also look at the light curves, and it gives you much more information than you've got just here. You can also click on all of these links here, and that will do a search within the different kinds of catalogs. So you can go to the XCAT-DB, and I think Long will talk about that later this week. You can query the Chandra VO table for the CSC catalog, the Swift catalog, Simbad, Vizier, whatever, and it will query it within a 2-arc minutes for most of those, except for some of them are like Vizier, where you get 2 mini results is in with 20 arc seconds. So you can look for your multi-wavelength counterpart in any of those catalogs, or as I say, you can also just have a look through in the Aladdin Light and look at the different catalogs that are hosted in there. So coming back to Flix, this is the information that you'll get if you clicked on this more bands. that you can see here on the right hand side. So you get for each one of the bands, you've got your sensitivity limit to the detection limit that you asked for. Actually, yeah, I forgot to mention one thing on there. Yeah, so this was the thing with the settings. So you can, I said it was on the first page. You can choose your settings for your sensitivity calculation. So as I say, you can choose the maximum likelihood threshold. In the docs, you've got all of the documentation you need to be able to run Flix, and it's also got all of these different bands and what each one of the thresholds means with regards to sigma if you can't be bothered to work it out. And then you've also got the radius of your circle that you can use. And I think, yeah, that was pretty much it. So yeah, so just a quick show of what Flix can do. And upcoming will be the stat catalog that will be included. And every time we make a new release of the catalog, then there's the new release that gets automatically ingested into Flix. So you've always got the updated catalog data that's in there. So thanks.
So we have some time for questions. Okay. So I see a couple of hands in the back.
Thanks, Natalia. I'm Felix First from ISAC. It's really nice. It's a really cool tool. Do you already have any kind of user statistics or something? Do you know how many people use it or want to use it, or what kind of features people use?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. Yeah, and if I was Mikhail, I'd be able to tell you that, because yeah, indeed, we do check on how many people do use the Flix server, and I actually do not have those numbers at all. I mean, there's other servers, there's other services out there. So there's Highlight that Richard Saxton's produced. And that's interesting, particularly because you can do many different kinds of missions. This one's slightly more accurate. And as I mentioned, there's also the Rapid XMM, but again, that's only in certain, well, it's every 5 seconds, if I remember rightly. I think in 5 second blocks, because all the data's stored in a database, which is intelligent because it's much quicker to use. But yeah, this is going to be a bit more accurate. The other thing as well, which makes this interesting, is that you've got, you can do the extended sources. But yeah, the actual number of people using this at the moment, I really couldn't tell you. But I will get that number to you before the end of the week if Mikhail's not too ill to reply my email.
Thank you.
Thanks. The service looks great. I just suggested, do you think it would be possible to link the limit in sensitivity values from channel observation that we ship with the catalog as well? Because I seem to understand that you're running a con search and searching for detections in the catalog, but we also have limited sensitivity values. Am I correct, or did I get it wrong?
Yeah, so what we do is actually do calculate the sensitivity in that region that's been detected. So yeah, that work is done on the actual XMM data. But yeah, having that kind of service for Chandra would be great as well, without a doubt. Are there any other questions? From the authors of Rapid XMM.
Yeah, hi, I'm Angel Ruiz from Athens. And well, just it's not 5, it's 3 seconds. The resolution of that is fine. Good enough. But no, my question was about you know, I mean the web interface is really nice and is extremely useful when you are exploratory analysis for a single source, but when you want to exploit the upper limit for a large number of sources, it's really interesting to have access programmatically. So are you planning to have like an API interface like that?
Yeah, that is on our plan list of things to do. So at the moment, yeah, the only thing you can do is upload a list. We actually only recommend to upload 1,000 objects at a time, or 1,000 regions of the sky at a time. But yeah, that is on our list of things for development.
Thanks.
No problem.